Oh, 100%. I would. Like, I'm not even just saying that to say that. I'm not getting paid for this. I would like highly consider it. I'm already considering renewal options. So for someone who doesn't like particularly door knocking, especially in extreme heat situations that we're having in the summer or extreme cold in the winter, it's a great solution. You're helping people out who have raised their hand and are asking for something. So you're just trying to help. And yeah, I think it's a great option. So definitely. Plus all the extra bonus stuff like getting a coach, and you could potentially, if you wanted to have an ISA and all that stuff, that's all extra. That's awesome.
Nicole Costa Stefanski. For the people that don't know or just don't remember, or I just want to bring to you guys' mind when we had our first initial spotlight interview, she was not officially married, right? She wasn't married. Now she is a Costa, and not just that, but she's expecting a baby. She's a pregnant Costa now, so a lot has changed. Imagine that. I'm watching this go on myself, so I'm just as shocked as you are. But God has changed. A lot is going on. Just to say that alone, just your personal life alone, a lot is going on, and so it's always great to bring to mind because we're in it for the experience, right? Also for the thrills as well. So a lot of things are happening. And Nicole, the last time we had a spotlight interview, it was a couple months back. You were sharing your experience with Meskula and the reason why you had to switch things up and in terms of like your business and finding a solution. Like you were letting us know in terms of the engagement that you were talking to people that you were going after and hustling and doing your thing. But now it's been months, right? At least maybe 3 to 4 months it's been since the last week we did a spotlight interview. Tell me just a little bit, what has changed? Like what's like the first thing that comes in your mind that has changed? Like that is just brand new, or just like something that's like, whoa, like this is going on.
So the conversations that I've like, it's not even changed. It's just like I've endured it more now. You know what I mean? Like gone through it more now. And it's just like so awesome to have these like great conversations with people and just having patience. It's definitely taught me a lot about patience and waiting and knowing that this isn't like a quick fix money solution for like your bank account. This is you nurturing people and getting to know them and building with these relationships and following up really is what I come to, because I had people that I've talked to 3 months ago that were not ready and now are. So it's important that like I was the one that they considered to have as their realtor, you know what I mean? Because I followed up and I actually cared and I had great conversations with them and was personable. So yeah, it's just the ongoing greatness.
Ongoing greatness. You're saying a lot of things right now that are so relevant and so real. So follow up with people. It's not a get rich quick scheme. You have to be patient. And obviously you have people who opted in, weren't ready yet, but now it's like, hey, I think I'm kind of ready at this point now. So it's really a time thing. But you said something very important, which is the follow up that you have been doing this last few months with these leads. And a lot of people don't consider that an actual thing. I was asked once, Victor, how do I get business a couple months from now instead of like now? Like I'm seeing that maybe right now it could be a good thing, but then again, I'm thinking in the future, long term here. And I said, well, in order for you to get business long term, you have to do your follow up now. And so, because obviously it's going to reflect in the future. So with that being said, explain to me if you have, what have you developed and learned in terms of like tactics throughout this time? Because I could say that, probably shooting myself in the foot. You're not the same Nicole as I met a couple months back. Like a lot has changed. Your presentations have changed. Your art of this has changed. So in terms of follow up, how have you evolved during this time? Have you learned things throughout this process?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with all the coaching that we get too, those like I'm always learning new tidbits of information, which is amazing. Like the lead calling show, that one's probably my favorite one. Is actually listening to people's calls and giving each other feedback and being like, well, hey, what would you do in this situation? And then like hearing everyone's ways around a certain objection or anything like like that, constantly going into those meetings and being a part of them helps you grow. Like, and actually taking accountability too, going back in your conversation and thinking, like, at the end of each call that I have, I like try and like be like, okay, what could I have done better? What did I do well? What could I do better? And because it's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be like, oh shit, I should have said this or like whatever, right? But you can always
Right.
call something back. Like if you've missed information and you're like, shoot, I should have told them, like you can always call them back or send them a quick message or whatever the case may be. But in terms of like scripting, a lot of that has just been from practice and participation from like and listening to other people's calls. Really, that's how it's gone better, and it only gets easier as you do it. Like before, I would like sweat before I had a conversation with anyone, and now it's
Yeah.
like I'll just give him a ring. So
Hey,
yeah,
it's just what I do.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just what you do. It's I have like sometimes people is like are shocked. What, I have to make phone calls. I really have to talk to people. Well, yeah, obviously you have to reach out to these people. Like just like you mentioned, create those relationships because sooner rather than later, or sometimes those people after 6, 12 months, they're gonna be yours. And the way that you do that is just like you're saying right now. Follow up, calling them, and then I'm glad you're able to bring something that's very key, which is the coaching sessions. And hell yeah, I'm glad it's the Thursday one that it's one of the most favorite on your end because us client success managers host that. And so I'm glad the coaching sessions are very helpful. And I noticed that Meskula has something for you every day of the week, and you have been taking advantage of that. And so you have also you said it yourself. I'm applying what I'm learning. And I see that. And now that you're applying what you're learning, tell me just a little bit of just like you mentioned, you said something that in the beginning I was kind of nervous. Now it's like, hey, I'm just talking to people. Can you just dive into that a little bit more? The old Nicole and the one that we have now in this moment. Like how much have you grown in that? Like what can you
Yeah.
point out?
It's still like sucks when people don't want to talk to you. Like, you're always going to get those people, but it like gets easier to just be like, okay, well, and again, it gets easier as you talk about it in coaching sessions, whether it's like Jake Nicole or his little partner there. Those are also that's like my second favorite. But yeah, like those are great because you want to figure out and like I think his name is David said it best, like who's in your past and who's in your future and like divide that
Mm,
and like really figure out your database because like you don't want to be calling people who don't actually have a plan. You know what I mean? They have no plan, no desire. They actually just thought it was like some quick scheme of like getting a number. They're planning to die in their house. Like you don't want to keep calling them. That's like bogging up your system. So you want to get to the people that, you could actually see a future with. And those are the people you should nurture. So it does get easier the more you do it, but you just have to do it.
Is this like a Nike commercial that I'm on right now, or
Just
what's going
do
on? So, I mean, that's
it.
the thing. You just have to really do it. Like,
Mhm.
okay, people are expecting a magic pill. I've seen this over the last 8 years, 9 years that I've been doing. It's like, tell me the top three. Tell me the one thing. So it's just like a magic thing overnight. It's like, no, you just have to do it. Like, you really go in there every day and do it. And then sooner rather than later, it's gonna be that. Then now you're talking about what I did. I'm getting fruits of this labor, right? Instead of like, hey, I should have done it. So now you're a doer, that's for sure. Talking about you as a doer, what are you looking into now? Like, what do you have right now going with the leads of Meskula since you did it?
So I have a bunch of clients that they thought they were ready at the time, and then I went in, and things changed, or someone was getting married, or someone issues happened where the timeline kind of shifted. But instead of like losing hope in those things and being like, oh well, they're never gonna sell, like
Real estate.
I just kept following up and I'm providing as much service and value as possible in those times of follow up. And I've only gotten back like thank yous for being so patient and yada. And now I have like a townhome, multi-res unit, condo and two condo apartments. One that eventually will get there. There's some legal stuff going on there. And then what was the other one? And then a two-story. So there's about like five potential clients that I've been following up with for months that will be ready this like in the fall in the next month or so. It's going to be a busy fall, but I'm excited. I'm excited to help them and then still continue to kind of nurture the database.
So you do have plenty of opportunities going still there, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
people that have not turned yet because of the time frames. But there's
Mhm.
people that because of that time frame, you were considerate enough to still be helpful, which is exactly what you did. Follow up with them and remain relevant. And now you have, as we discussed earlier, is looking like by the end of September, we're
Mhm.
looking at four potential listings. That's great. So four potential listings out in this this market. And so I'm just thinking of like next year, like all these people that you've been nurturing. It's not just going to be four. I'm looking at perhaps at least doubling things up. What do you think about that? What are you expecting next year out of all this?
I hope so. I know it's going to be a crazy year because a lot of mortgages are up for renewal from COVID. So I already know it's going to be crazier. Plus, with the interest rates, those are supposed to go down. So I think everyone's kind of like sellers are really looking at their options now. So I think it's going to be a great time to get these ads out and get, home evaluation options and get and have those conversations with people so that you can get in the door and get them ready for when they are ready. Really. So I think it'll. I could see it doubling for sure.
Yeah, there you go. And so you're mentioning something about the market that's going to work, kind of help us, right? Get that double to go ahead and more deals. So that's great. Now, in terms of that, just that alone, has your perspective changed? Have you thought different? Would you still? Because I know the very first meeting, you said, "Hey, well, if someone's considering the option of Meskula, go ahead and go for it." But I really want to ask, and I really would love for you to be as honest as you can. Would you still suggest someone to consider a solution like Meskula?
Oh, 100%. I would. Like, I'm not even just saying that to say that. I'm not getting paid for this. I would like highly consider it. I'm already considering renewal options. So, for someone who doesn't like particularly door knocking, especially in extreme heat situations that we're having in the
Mm,
summer or extreme cold in the winter, it's a great solution. You're helping people out who have raised their hand and are asking for something. So you're just trying to help. And yeah, I think it's a great option. So definitely. Plus all the extra bonus stuff like getting a coach, and you could potentially, if you wanted to have an ISA and all that stuff, that's all extra. That's awesome. But yeah, definitely I would for sure.
oh, there you go. So you would. Could you maybe, I don't know, two reasons, three reasons why you say this? You said coaching, sure, but maybe if we can line them up.
Well, okay, like I would say the CRM is super innovative. I see people just now trying to build CRMs like this, and um, you guys are ahead of the game for sure already. So that's like super helpful to have. And then to I've lost my train of thought.
Just
Pregnant brain.
three
What was the
reasons.
question? Three reasons
Just three
why
reasons
Meskula?
why. Yeah.
Okay, pregnancy. So yeah, so the CRM, amazing. Two, I've met some pretty awesome people and lovely humans throughout this process. Yeah, you guys, the team itself, like the Facebook group and like the love everyone has, and everyone's so considerate of each other and cheers each other on. But then also like actually the conversations I have. Like the other day I talked for an hour and a half with someone who's not ready to sell this year, but I'm sure there's no other realtor who would have talked to this woman for an hour and a
Yeah.
half
Yeah.
about everything in her life besides me. So when she's ready to sell, sure enough, she'll be thinking of me because I'll keep in contact with her. But yeah, so those are like the two reasons: is the coaching, the people, and the CRM. Like the innovation is outstanding. So that's what I
Wow.
would
Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you
probably.
so much. You shared a lot. Now we're heading towards obviously a different chapter now of with a lot of things with listings, renewal, and your personal life with the baby, right? And now you're gonna have a sticker on the back of the car, baby on board. Chill back, right? So I can't wait to see that go, come to reality. So I'm
Yeah.
personally, I'm just glad to meet you. You are also a fabulous person. Thank you so much for this 6 months. And I know that we're going to have more time with us in the future. And I know you're going to be successful for a fact. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. Any last words if you want to consider that?
Stay consistent and believe in yourself. Those are my two little words of wisdom because,
Stay consistent.
yeah,
Believe in yourself.
stay consistent and believe in yourself and like have confidence to like just pick up the phone and have those conversations because at the end of the day, like I think we've gone through it with our coaching calls too, is like we always think we're just a nuisance or we're a burden and we're bugging people. But at the end of the day, they're the ones asking us for help. Anything, you're just offering assistance. So you don't have to be pushy or salesy. You just have to be helpful. So
Wow.
that's it.
Wow. I'm gonna quote that. Believe me, I'll tag you on Facebook. This is going live. This quote they just said right now. That's it. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching the process, right? That we're going with Nicole. Nicole, thank you again so much for your time. And I guess I'll see you guys then.